Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the College Football Weekly podcast. I'm your host, Hunter Woodward, and today with me is my co-host.
Hunter Cottle.
Yes, sir, and
And
welcome
we're
to
back.
season two. We are back with
We are
College
back.
Football Weekly 2023.
Can't
We're
wait.
going to
It's
be
gonna be a big year.
yeah, dude, I'm so ready for football this season.
It's coming tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
So,
So, we're going to be posting a lot more on YouTube. If you guys want to check out our YouTube, it is College FB Weekly. For our Spotify listeners, anywhere else that's listening to us, that's where you can find us. So, before we get started, there's a few games coming up here tomorrow for us that is going to be week zero. That are pretty strong games. But before we get into that, I know I'm shocking you a little bit here, Cuddle. This isn't on script, but from your point of view, who do you think is going to be in the 2023-24 College Football National Championship? All four teams.
okay, so the playoffs
Yep,
for the last year of four teams, by the way. That's
yep.
my we're gonna have 12 next year. That's insane.
2024 is going to be a whole new perspective.
Yeah, different conferences. Oof, we'll get into
Mm,
that next year.
oh yeah. So who's your top four?
Top four right now. I'm gonna
Yeah,
say,
for the end of the season, who do you think is going to
yeah,
be in?
all right, at number one, I think it'll be Ohio State. And my reason is this. They won their division, but not only that, they beat Michigan. They're finally in the two-game loss streak against them. I think they have the best one of the best players in college football, Marvin Harrison Jr., and he is a freak. He's an athlete. And when you put anybody behind there throwing the ball, it's gonna be caught by him. So I mean, the kid's ridiculous. Probably gonna win Heisman, and he should. But they'll be at number one. Okay. They'll be I think one game they might we'll get into that later.
Yeah,
But okay.
you're gonna make me cry, dude. This is the best things I've ever heard about you from talking about Ohio State.
Ohio State, yeah. Okay. Well don't get used to it. But
Yeah.
um say number two, I'm gonna put my Tigers.
Okay.
I'm gonna put my Tigers beating Florida State twice this year.
Florida
I
State
think Florida State,
twice.
yeah, once in the regular season and once in the ACC championship game.
Okay.
And not lose to Notre Dame at home. I think one game that we have tough is NC State, but that's at NC State, and that's always a hiccup game for us.
Okay.
But other than that, two Clemson. Three, I'm gonna have to put Alabama.
All right.
They're coming in. Tennessee was really close to this spot. I'm not gonna lie, but with the defense of Alabama, they likely show up more than Tennessee does, so that's why they won this spot over. But they got some freaks in the backfield, not just at quarterback, but at running back too. And they're a very underrated duo, but at the same time, they play really good games to get them the edge to get that third spot. And they win the SEC. I think one game they will lose to is I have to say LSU. LSU,
Okay.
they got
And
Gabe Davis.
would that be in the SEC championship
Regular season.
regular season? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So they beat LSU or they lose to LSU once. LSU is most
Yep.
likely going to the SEC championship and they
And then
play
they'll
them.
end up playing each other again, but Bama will
Yeah.
win.
Okay.
Can't be Bama twice. Ask Kirby Smart. Um, number four, it's a very this is my dark horse of the year. We've
Okay.
got this guy. He's also a freak athlete, Heisman winner. Could go back to back. Caleb Williams, dude is he's a menace. I mean, he's crazy. So, I mean, the Heisman, you're going against that every game. That's going to be rough on any defense. And they've
Yeah.
got transfers from other teams. So it's going to be really big. And he's just like we saw last year. He played really big games and he handled himself really well.
Yeah.
Against that Notre
He
Dame, he's got to play them again. But I think,
he
go
did
ahead.
insanely well. And the only thing that is keeping USC in my 4 to 5 is the chance their defense flakes like last year.
Yeah,
I mean, they had an incredible offense. Their
yeah,
defense just could not step up. I mean, Utah losing to Utah twice in 1 year.
yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh.
Utah is 6 for me.
USC losing kept Ohio State in,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely. But I will I'm gonna give you my top four.
Yeah, let me
So
hear it.
I would love
Don't be
I
nice
wouldn't
either.
I wouldn't love to put Georgia in the top four. Uh for College Football Weekly listeners, we did not finish off the season last year because we had a lot of complications with
Yeah,
filming and we just got burnt out. That's not happening this year. Um, as much as I would love to put Georgia in the top four from how much they've won over the past couple of years, I mean, two back-to-back is insane. I don't see them winning another natty for the next 20 years. I mean,
yeah.
unless they come back,
Or
they had a good run in the SEC, and I believe they still might be a top 10 team, but at the
they've
same
got the
time,
best.
yeah,
They've got the best defensive line coming back, and Clemson's right behind them. But just saying, in the rankings, man, their defense is spectacular. But we still don't know anything about Carson Beck. We saw him play against cupcake teams, which he is going to
yeah,
do, but he's going to have to do it for 4 quarters. And he's got some receivers. Georgia actually, their first string running back got hurt, so now I mean that's not a worry for them. They've got one of the
yeah.
best running backs. So if anything, just run the ball for them. That's big. And the SEC, that's going to win games anyway. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you've got to have a quarterback that can at least throw the ball down. Because when you get to that
Oh
third
yeah.
game, fifth game, maybe you get to play Carolina, a decently good enough team to have a defensive line this year. They're going to be locked in and they're going to be wanting it all. They're going to be your first big test and they're going to be their first big test. So it's all going to work out. But
Yeah.
if they do win that game, they have to go at Tennessee, and that is just that's going to be it's going to
For
be a check
sure,
your four.
man.
Yeah, that's going to be a crazy game. I can't wait for that. But
Speaking of
yeah,
Tennessee, they're not in my top four, but they are going to put up a big shot against. They play Bama again, am I correct?
yeah. Who
Yeah.
Tennessee? Yes.
So yeah. So they're going to give them a little bit of a hard time, but if Bama's playing a top 12, I mean top 10 team, Tennessee, by the time they get there, I
Yeah.
believe Alabama's going to be number one. They win the SEC or lose the SEC championship, stay top four. I think number two, I wouldn't put Ohio State one. I think Ohio State could win against Michigan this year, but I feel like if we do
You should.
win, that I mean we haven't seen a Big Ten in 3 years either, so getting
Yeah.
over that game is going to be a big travel. So I think if we win Big Ten and beat Michigan, I mean we've got a strong Penn State team that we're going to be playing anyways, so I think
Notre
we're number
Dame
two. And Notre Dame, yeah, if they don't stumble in
and
the first
and
four
maybe a
games.
Wisconsin. Maybe a Wisconsin.
A
They've got
Wisconsin game would be
that's roster.
lovely. If
Yep.
we play Wisconsin in the Big Ten, we're winning the Natty. That's just how it goes because I mean Melvin Gordon can tell you the same thing.
We beat North Carolina in the ACC, but we didn't win the Natty this year.
Well, yeah.
No, I know what you're saying. Though.
Yeah. I can't put TCU anywhere near the top four. Um,
Great season last year. A lot of great pieces, but
I'd rather put USC at number three and Michigan at four, being them 11-1. With how strong of a team they have coming back. And the crazy thing is, they just released captains for their team, and their starting quarterback is not the captains, which
yeah,
is very
Not a good
very
sign.
much a struggle. Ohio
It was
State's
a winner.
young. If Ryan Day loses, we get our offensive coordinator as our head coach. Simple as that. Everything's over.
And I feel like that's how it should happen at some point for any
Yeah.
coach. I mean,
Hot seat. You got to beat the team. You got to beat your rival. That's how it is
you
at
gotta,
Ohio State.
you gotta, you gotta beat Michigan. They're not gonna fire him in the or the middle of the year.
Yeah.
If y'all lose to Notre Dame, let's say they're not gonna fire him. But if you lose to Michigan, it might be done.
It's going to be over. He's already in the hot seat. Now,
Yeah.
my number 4 being Michigan. If they lose 2 games, I have Clemson sliding in.
All right.
I have Clemson. If Clemson wins out and they beat Florida State twice, being ranked both times, I see them being top 4. So, yeah. But, I mean, USC has a Heisman, a huge
Yeah.
Heisman candidate coming back this year, and Ohio State has a huge Heisman candidate coming in this year. But we do have 2 young quarterbacks. We'll get into that more later. I love talking
Yeah.
about Ohio State quarterback controversy. But yeah, let's talk about the games that are coming up this week. So we're only going to talk
Sure.
about the 2 ranked games that are being played. We're not going to talk about the FBS 1A, all those teams, because I mean, I don't want to say they're irrelevant, but at this time it's not like they're ranked to the point
Yeah.
where we've got to talk about them. So, but if
Yeah.
they are ranked, then we will talk about them.
It's weird. We're just telling you who we're excited to watch right
Oh
now.
yeah,
I
for
mean, until
sure.
there's a lot of games on. I mean, there is a good
Oh yeah.
bit of games on, a lot of exciting games, but and most of them are ranked, so it's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, tomorrow, Saturday. Oh my gosh, I love it. Navy at number 13 or versus number 13 Notre Dame. They're not at Notre Dame. They're actually going to be in Aviva
In
Stadium,
Dublin,
which is in Dublin. So that's going to
Ireland,
be
baby.
absolutely insane, especially for
It's gonna
the
be.
Fighting Irish.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
man. They're gonna be rocking.
oh
It's
yeah.
awesome.
The game is at 2:30 p.m. and Notre Dame has it spread by 20.5.
They should. They're going
Yeah.
to their homeland.
Oh yeah. I think Notre Dame wins this
Yeah,
by more than 21. Uh, and Navy puts up a good fight in the first half, but then Notre Dame can close it out.
yeah. Don't sleep on Navy, but
Mm-mm,
at the
don't sleep.
same time, Notre Dame has a star at quarterback right now, Sam Hartman. He's the real deal. I mean, if he won't go first round, I don't think,
No.
but he would be a great pickup. He reminds me of Devin Leary a little bit, and
Yeah.
he kind of reminds,
I,
and he kind of plays like Derek Carr. So Derek Carr, he's not doing too hot right now, but when he was at Fresno, how about that?
right.
But I feel like they're locked in and they want to win. They want to go to the playoffs this year. Marcus Freeman, he wants it.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna be
Marcus
Clemson.
Freeman. Marcus Freeman is always a good coach to play against. Um,
Oh yeah,
but yeah, if Notre Dame doesn't fall in the first 4 games, I think they have a pretty good chance of staying in the top 25, even after a possible loss to Ohio State.
yeah.
In, I mean, that's in South Bend, so that's going to be a hard game, anyways,
They
for
do.
Ohio
Yeah,
State.
they got it, and they got to go to Clemson.
Oh yeah,
So
switch it up this year.
imagine if they had to go to Ohio State and Clemson.
Dude, that would suck. That would be awful. They're 2 away games.
I feel
That's
so
what you
bad.
get for being independent.
And playing Notre Dame, yeah, or
Yeah,
Southern Cal at Southern,
right.
not Notre
But
Dame
anyway,
this year.
yeah. But anyways, let's move on to the next game. It's going to be number 6 USC versus San Jose State. Not a bad game, starting game for USC. Um, I mean, it's at USC, of course. They're not
Yeah,
playing anywhere special like Notre Dame, unfortunately. That's going to be at 8 p.m. tomorrow, which is Saturday. So we're going to get this edited and uploaded tonight. Um, and USC has the spread by 31. This is
I'm so excited to see this offense move the football.
mhm,
I'm so excited.
definitely, dude. I
And I
mean,
want to see their defense good. I want to see
yeah,
the Fighting Trojans back. I want to see it.
if anything, it should be a blowout.
Yeah.
To
Oh
sh
yeah,
I
this
mean,
game.
it's not a big challenge for them on defense, but it's a great starting game to kind of get your feet in the water and to start getting a good way to start. It's a great way to start,
Yeah.
especially in your home stadium.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think USC might win like 42 to like 10.
Okay. I've
They
got.
they up the spread.
I'm, I'm gonna say it's gonna be 45-17.
45 to 17. Okay.
I don't know how good Southern Cal's offense is, but I know the offense will. You know, it's San
The
Jose's
o-
offense isn't
the
that good. So
offense will do their job,
yeah,
of course. Defense,
we gotta
that's what we'll
see.
be looking at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't wait.
You want to get into the top 25 preseason rankings?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So this time we're going to start from 25, talk a little bit about the other teams receiving votes, just to get their name out there, just to talk about it. So we've
Yeah.
got others receiving votes: Texas Tech, South Carolina, UCLA, UTSA, Arkansas, Boise State, Pittsburgh, Kentucky, Troy. I mean, there's so many of these teams that just have a minimal amount of votes that, I mean, they win one game and they could be in the top 25 if
Yeah.
one does win. Um, then
Um,
we got Louisville, Auburn, Minnesota, Toledo, Mississippi State, Duke, Florida, Illinois, Coastal Carolina, Baylor, Liberty, James Madison, NC State, and South Alabama. I mean,
I think their closest one should be NC State. They've got a
yeah,
lot of good games this year at NC State, but I mean that's just this is early. This is why it's early. We don't know anything about these teams really. I mean, we know a
yeah.
few things about the big teams, but
What's crazy is NC State only has one vote.
yeah, and if they beat Clemson, they'll be top 10. So
Exactly. I mean, look at LSU. Look at what they did
yeah,
last year.
yeah, two-loss team getting the SEC and they call it strong, but you know,
Yeah, but it
it's
happens.
oh,
Yeah. But okay, so at number 25, we have Iowa. Iowa isn't a bad football team. They
big
played
offensive
they've got a really good defense too. I think they have
line.
got a great defense. Iowa, I mean,
Defensive
that
line is like top 10.
is insane. I love it. But Iowa, I, I think they'll finish off somewhere in the eights for wins. I don't think they'll last that long. They'll be heading
Tough
up the
game.
Big Ten West, maybe, most likely. But they got a pretty good game coming
Yeah.
up first. We're not going to talk about that yet, but it'll be good. Next at 24, we have Tulane. That's a shocking one.
They played
Uh,
really well against Southern Cal last year.
they really did. Uh, I mean, they didn't force any like big pressure on them, but
Yeah.
it was a good game for Tulane
They
to,
they should have been ranked last year. And
yeah.
they have a lot of people coming back. So
Oh yeah.
it'd be
I
interesting.
mean, they showed out when it was time to show out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next team we have is number 23, Texas A&M. As to
Yeah.
last year, how overrated they were and how they almost beat Bama,
Yeah.
almost. Man, you thought that would be the game that would push Bama back, but it was almost every single game.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, Tennessee, they beat them. Texas A&M, just almost every team in the SEC gave Bama
A run for their money.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They've got a whole
Speak,
I love it. It's good.
Speaking of Ole Miss, they're at number 22, overrated last year. I mean, you saw them Jackson Dart, he did a decent job at quarterback, but he was nothing like too stellar. And I believe he's coming back.
Yeah, he is. And
Yeah, he's coming back.
saw a video of him on TikTok. It was ESPN. They posted that, and
Yeah,
he can lift,
he can lift.
but he can lift. He's strong. He's like a running back now.
Oh,
So we'll
hmm.
see. But he
Kenny
played
Pickett.
really good last year, and he could get it. Yeah, Kenny Pickett. But
Yeah,
he could get out of the pocket last year, and he could create a lot of space. I think they have receivers coming back, and you never know with Ole Miss's defense. They could either be good and be lucky, or they could be bad and be bad. So
yeah. There's no in
it's a hit
between.
or miss. They're in a great spot right there.
Yeah, that's great. That is a good spot. I'd put Ole Miss in the top 25, but keep them low.
Yeah.
Next at number 21, we have UNC. I mean, coming in from last year with Drake May going to the ACC. I mean,
He's a bad man.
they were so close.
Yeah.
They were really
They
so close.
hmm. The game they played Clemson this year at Clemson.
Okay.
That's the game they won. They want
Yeah.
us. So it's gonna be that's gonna be good game. But Clemson's gonna win that game. They're gonna be in the same spot they're in right now. I don't think they really move up unless they beat some teams that are ranked coming in. But I just don't see it. Drake May is really talented, and he's going to be a Heisman finalist either this year or never. So he's going to be in the
Yeah.
draft this year,
Yeah.
and I feel like he can be a finalist.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure. If he puts
I
up the same numbers he did last year, but a little more, I guess, especially against better teams.
yeah,
Um, Next, this one's very shocking. So at number 20, Oklahoma,
yeah,
after a 6-6 regular season year, which was just the worst Oklahoma team I've ever seen.
yeah. I think Brent
That
Venables has a team coming. He has a squad this year. He hasn't leaded before, so this is going to be the fresh start he wanted. He went and got some people in the portal, very low key about it, and he brings a good defensive mind to the team, and that's what
yeah,
everybody needs. And Oklahoma lacks that all the time. So
I think what Brent Venables will have to do is he will have to learn how to coach without stealing the plays.
when you're around the best coach ever for a long time and winning 2 rings with him, I mean that's just what you get. I mean, Dabo, a lot of teams have taken that Tavon Austin move from West Virginia,
Yeah.
including Clemson. We used it for 2 years. We got over it. We left it. Brent will find his own rhythm, and I think it will be either this year or he might
Yeah.
not be at Oklahoma. He might be coming back somewhere else. But he's got a squad this year. He's got actually Dylan Gabriel. He's a great quarterback, and he could be a Heisman finalist too. You never know.
Oh
But
yeah.
we'll see.
We'll see. At number 19, we have Wisconsin. So them being big in the Big Ten, I believe we play them sometime this year. Yeah, we
Yeah,
play them very late in the season. So if we can beat him or beat Luke Fickell, who was a previous Ohio State coach, um, I think we win that game. But Wisconsin has been a good team for a while, but it's like
they
whenever
kind of
they
linger.
aren't ranked, yeah, they
Yeah,
linger. Whenever they
they
aren't
kind of
ranked,
remind me of Wake
they're
Forest.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah,
And then at number 18, we have Oregon State. I mean, they were the shocker last year. They rode the coattails all the way up to the top and got
yeah.
dropped so quick. It was
Yes,
like,
they did.
oh, okay.
But
What happened?
they got
Say,
somebody. They picked up somebody very. I cheered for him. I didn't cheer for him, but I was always by his side. Okay, watching him suffer in this offense that we had. DJ Uyunglele is he's got a few receivers coming there. This is going to be his best receiving class, believe it or not. So, besides when he backed up Trevor when he came in, that was the best. But
That was the best game he's played in college football.
yeah, but he's gonna find his own right here, and I think he might be able to reach the fourth round maybe in the draft. But he used to be a number one over, projected one overall, and
Right.
when he was in high school, yeah. So I mean,
He's
it
got a
didn't
ball
show
out
that he's got a ball out, and he
last year.
can vision. Got
Yeah.
some
He's
teams.
he's got to be in the top 10 Heisman contenders to be like even near Mr. Irrelevant. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, but it's okay, Well, yeah, he'll be there. He might not even go there, but he said some things about Clemson. But other than that, who's at 17?
17, we got TCU.
They dropped so bad,
I mean,
even
after
after beating Michigan.
getting beat like that though in the national championship, the worst showing in the national championship era.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Max Duggan not
Yeah,
there anymore. He can't win the game forever. He was the best player at TCU.
yeah, his jersey was never clean. It was
Mm-mm,
awesome. He was
mm-mm.
very excited.
And at number 16, we have Kansas State University. Kansas State beating TCU last year.
Yeah,
I'd put
they
them
got
higher.
fast offense,
Oh yeah.
but they
I
did
mean,
lose a good bit. Deuce Vaughn, yeah,
yeah.
that's a big
Dude,
loss.
that's a huge loss. And him already starting in the NFL, I
Yeah,
mean, dude was insane. But them having Kansas State over TCU, I think was a really good call.
yeah. I mean, that made the most sense, and that's surprising from them.
Oh yeah. Then at number 15 we have Oregon. Oregon was super overrated last year, the beginning of the year, and then got swamped by Georgia. It was, I
Yeah,
mean, first week
they
it was
finished off
awful.
good, and I've got something to say.
All right.
Oregon is my sleeper. They are my sleeper. They're going to end. They don't end in the playoffs. They're going to end five.
Okay.
So 5 or 6. But they got Bo Nix coming back, and he is a game changer. Whether he played good in the SEC or not, which he did, I thought he did. He wanted to play for Auburn. He saw a great opportunity at Oregon. Played really good his first time, so first year with him. And
Yeah. I
I think
think
he'll be good.
he has a lot of room to improve at Oregon, and I think over this time he's been there, I think he'll do a lot better
Yeah,
this year than he did last year. Um, at number 14, we have Utah. They have Cam Rising back, I believe. They're my sleep. I
yeah,
mean,
man, a good
I
sleeper.
mean, Cam Rising, I would say puts in about the same effort to a game as Max Duggan. Like
Yeah,
tries their best. I mean,
yeah,
didn't see that for TCU in the final game against
yeah,
Georgia, but I mean, Cam Rising, I think he's a stud. I mean, he's played. I've been watching Cam Rising ever since the 2022 Rose Bowl.
yeah.
He's
And
insane.
he is, and he just plays the game with so much heart, and
Oh yeah,
he means everything that he does.
he got destroyed
Yeah, got back
by
up and played his
USC.
heart out.
Put his helmet
Won the
back
game.
on, one
Yeah,
play, back in.
back in. Dude's a
Dude,
rock star.
I love Cam Rising. He's
Yeah,
it's you can't root against him. He's awesome. I
yeah, he
mean,
is.
the only person I'd root against in the USC Utah thing is Caleb Williams, only because the fingers, the fingernail paint, like what's
Yeah,
that for? You
or
know?
like somebody wears Louis Vuitton cleats or something.
Yeah, with Apple Watch, no. I think that's just like,
That was crazy. The
dude,
Louis
that was
Vuitton cleats was
crazy.
fire, but
Yeah,
it was-
the
he
Apple
deserves it.
Watch being on, he had to get
He's
his
the
steps
best
in.
receiver. Yeah, he's the best receiver in the league, so he
Yeah.
can do whatever he wants.
Oh yeah. Then number 13, Notre Dame. We just talked about them earlier. I mean, they've got a good chance of being top 10. Um they got to beat Ohio State and Clemson.
They got to beat two of the three that they play: Southern Cal, Clemson, or Ohio State. And if they have the best bet, they need to beat at least Ohio State.
Hmm.
Then they have to. I mean, that's like their hump to get over. Last year,
They've
they
got to
all know.
go
Yeah,
they've got to go 11-1 with an earlier loss like to Clemson and then beat USC. That's the only way they I see that they play top four because I
well,
mean,
they play Notre Dame late. I mean, Clemson and Notre Dame, they play kind of late in the year, but they play them before Southern Cal, obviously.
okay,
But yeah, but that'll be
still,
yeah. I mean, they have to either beat Ohio State or Southern Cal. I don't think they have to beat us. If they beat us, they don't go to
yeah,
a conference game. They can lose to Southern Cal and be like, well, they beat a good one-loss Clemson team that beat Florida State, who beat LSU. But we'll see where
right,
that goes.
definitely. Other thing is that's assuming USC, Ohio State, and Clemson still keep those records like
Of
high.
course, yeah.
At number
For all we
12,
know, Southern Cal could slip up tomorrow.
exactly, against San Jose State.
Mm-hmm. Worse is
Number 12, kind of shocking for me at number 12, we've got Tennessee. I
yeah,
mean, Tennessee won the Orange Bowl last year against Clemson. I would put them more close, if not one above Clemson.
yeah.
But
Okay.
I I mean,
They lost Hendon
they've
Hooker and Jalen Hyatt. That's why they're that low, I think.
yeah. Yeah.
And,
I mean, if it's based off of what they accomplished last year and what they're bringing back this year,
yeah,
I I I don't understand why Ohio State's at 3 because we didn't
because
win a Big Ten, we didn't win the Natty, we lost our semifinal game, we didn't play, and we didn't beat Michigan. So, and we're not bringing back much but Marvin Harrison Jr. and a few defensive guys. And we got a whole new offensive line and a new quarterback. So,
it's a very young team, but it's really filled with talent. And
oh yeah.
I mean, they're if they beat Notre Dame, man, it's
Hmm.
gonna be at Notre Dame too. It's gonna be a tough
I think
game. But
I
we'll get
think
to three in a
Tennessee
second.
Tennessee's definitely a sleeper too.
Oh yeah,
For SEC.
they
Um,
have to beat Alabama and
at
Georgia.
number 11, we've got the always overrated Texas.
Yeah.
Quinn
Well,
Ewers.
he's a dog. I am not gonna lie to you. He is good, and
He
he
is
plays a lot of
good,
sweat.
but he can't be injured.
Yeah,
Plain
he's
and
got
simple, or Texas is out.
yeah of the 25. Well, you know
Yeah.
how they love him, but
Hmm. They'll be in the top 25 even with 5 losses, just like
yeah,
last year. I mean, dude, it's insane. At number 10, good team, Washington. Washington last year with Michael Penix Jr.
coming back.
and a bunch of great receivers. I think Washington, I mean
Great
them
defense.
winning a lot of games is
Yeah,
I think they're in a great spot.
they are. They play really good. They play just enough to go.
Yeah.
If they
They
do
don't
win out, they play enough.
yeah, they don't have like a lot of strong opponents, like a lot that I think would be enough to just put them in the top 4 normally. But
Yeah,
if they were to win out with a schedule like theirs at starting at number 10, they definitely have a chance.
yeah. I mean, they have Penix Jr. coming back, so and he is like a sleeper in Heisman for me.
Oh yeah.
Him and Cam Rising are like neck and neck for me right now.
Oh yeah.
One's got hard, one's got extreme. He reminds me of a lot of Russell Wilson, just the way he can run the ball. Like when he played at Wisconsin, but man, he can move and he can
Oh
he
yeah.
can sling that rock. So it's gonna be good. It's
For
gonna be
sure.
exciting. Yeah. that's sitting really good for at 10. But I don't know. I think Tennessee should be at 10, if anything.
Yes, I
But
think the
this is
same
why
thing.
it's early.
This is preseason. This is
Yep.
all going to change after week one. Then at number nine, we have Clemson. Um, they're coming back with Cade. I think they have a good defense coming in.
Garrett
Better defense
Riley.
than last year.
Yep.
I think their offense is what they're going to have to prove on everything, just like last year against Notre Dame. I mean,
Yeah.
offense was the only thing that really had to prove anything. Offense gave up more points than the defense.
Yes. I mean, it was just, and it's a really different look coming from me. I've been looking at the camps and everything like that. I've been watching these guys for a long time. Will Shipley, he puts his heart out there too. He's a great running back. And honestly, if anybody else moved like him and ran in through people like him, they'd be injured. Like, he's a dog. And he
Will
got
Shipley
Cade coming
is
back. Yeah. Cade is looking he gained some weight and he's moving, man. He is fast. And he reminds me a lot of Kelly Bryant, but with a fast offense with Garrett Riley coming in from TCU, after the year he had there, man, this offense is going to be just fine. And, last year, the defense of us, we said, oh, yeah, it's not really a competition for defense versus offense at practices. But now they said, man, it's hard to stop them. Garrett's got a good thing going there. And I think
yeah.
if they hold off and they beat Florida State, they beat the teams that need to beat, no slip ups, no close games. I
Win the
think they can,
ACC.
yeah, we win we'll do back to back on that. We've done it
Yeah.
before. So I just think it's going to be really fast. We got I think, the best defensive line in the nation, and Georgia is ranked. Look for that. But and I also think we have the best running backs with Phil Maffa and Will Shipley. I mean, Phil Maffa could go start anywhere else. So we're going to be switching them out a lot. It's going to be a weird offense that's going to look sick. And
Yeah,
I'm ready. I'm
for
excited.
sure.
I'm excited.
Number eight,
Yeah,
Florida State.
that's why I'm
Them
excited.
being placed over Clemson this early is confusing from
Yeah,
where they were last year. Um, Florida State last year, they lost 3 games. They lost 3 games, but were the only ranked games they played. So
yeah.
it's like,
And they lost to Clemson at Florida State. They got to come to Death Valley this year. So
yeah, I don't see Florida State lasting that long. Anyways, um, number seven, Penn State. Penn State's always in the top 10 or 15.
they should be because they play two of the best teams,
Yeah,
obviously, Michigan and Ohio State. They play them every year, and that's
it's the 3 teams
yeah,
that carry the Big Ten.
yeah. And I think they play Auburn this year, if I'm not mistaken. They played them
Penn
last year.
State.
I think it's at Penn State.
Let me check. No, they do not play Auburn this year.
Well,
They do not.
then just Ohio State and Michigan. Then
Yeah. And after once it hits 2024, Ohio State won't be playing Penn State every year. There will be no locked games
yeah, that's
except for rival week, of course. Penn State has a great chance of being good. I mean, they're always uh, they're always putting up a good fight against Ohio State or Michigan, and it really comes down to the fourth quarter every year.
yeah,
So, I mean,
big
you
games. They
see you see teams like Ohio State and Michigan who are like outlasting opponents till the fourth quarter. So I think if
yeah,
Penn State can win the fourth quarter, they win either of those games. So it's just going to be conditioning for Penn State.
agreed.
Um, at number six, we have USC, returning Heisman Caleb Williams, who could possibly go 2 times. Um, amazing, amazing offense, like we said earlier. Defense is going to have to step it up from last year.
I think
Um,
they will, but it's just gonna gonna come down to it, and they gotta keep Williams on the field. They gotta
Right.
defenses they have to get turnovers. They had a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
turnovers, but it was just they didn't give enough time to Caleb. And then they played really
Right.
big games too. Like that Notre Dame game, they actually held them up pretty good. But you got to do it more than one game a year.
Yeah, you
So
can't ball out one game a year and then expect the rest to be a ride
yeah,
and just be like, oh, okay, well, we're done now. We don't have to put in any more effort. And then, yeah, I
because
think
they
USC,
played well.
I think USC is the most Ohio State-like team recently with the offense. And the defense coming up short. They're like us in 2020 or
Yeah,
2021. Um,
not having
it's
the
just,
offense or the defense.
yeah, us
Have a
before
lot of
our new defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles.
hope
I
he works
mean,
out.
what'd you say?
I said I hope he works out for y'all because
Oh yeah, it should be working out.
yeah, his
But
scheme is really good. We'll
but
see.
before we get to that, I'll talk a lot about it. Number five. Keep in mind, everybody, there are three SEC teams in the top five. Number
Yeah,
five, LSU. LSU was unranked at the beginning of last season, won one game, and jumped into the top 25. I believe like top tens, something like
yeah,
that. Um,
impressive.
LSU lost
But
by 20 to Georgia and lost pretty much. I mean, they beat Alabama in double overtime with the 2-point conversion.
yeah,
That
good.
was that was a big hold on them. That helped
Yeah,
them a lot. But I think Alabama kicks them out from anything near the top five this year. I mean, LSU is going to be good, but we'll all figure it out after week one.
yeah,
LSU, Florida State, see who's really
it'll be a good
if
game.
I think that's a placement game for another SEC team. I feel like
Yeah,
they overranked Florida State just so that LSU could be a top four team.
I hope Florida State wins that game.
Yeah,
It'll
me too.
be good.
That would be nice. As much as I'm not a huge fan of Florida State, but I think I like them more than LSU.
Yes.
Um, anyways, let's get into the actual top four, not our top fours. We have number four, Alabama. Now, Alabama has a big year to come back from. We saw them come up short almost every single game. They lost to Tennessee and they lost to LSU. Didn't play in the conference championship, but they won their bowl game. Who did they play against in their bowl game?
Kansas State.
Kansas State. They
Yeah, they
they
won.
won
Yeah.
big time. Not big time, but like
No,
a
it was
good
a good
amount.
game. Deuce Vaughn went
Yeah.
off, of course.
Yes, for sure.
But I do think this Bama team, you can't put them anywhere else. I mean, you
No,
can't put five, you can't put LSU in front of them. You just can't.
no.
I
If
think
anything,
that,
I would have put
yeah,
USC four.
yeah, me too. But they don't, the defense, we got to see.
Definitely.
They love
And
to, they love
Alabama,
to,
you cannot bet against Bama, and you
yeah,
cannot let's say, like underrate them. You cannot
yeah.
say, oh, they're going to be bad this year because that's
I
what
mean, they're usually good. So,
that's what Nick Saban loves.
yeah,
That's what Nick Saban absolutely loves, and you don't want to
so,
give him that.
yeah.
And number three, we've got Ohio State with one first place vote. Not really shocked about that. I mean, we played a good game against Georgia. We came the closest to beating them than anyone else did, besides the Mizzou game. Now it's a whole different, that's something else. That didn't happen.
That
But
wasn't a primetime game.
that wasn't a
Missouri
primetime
almost
game.
won it. That was just
No.
almost an upset, but I loved it.
Yeah, Stetson was too busy signing autographs. Um,
Yeah.
but Ohio State has a good chance of being in the top four again this year, and I think of beating Michigan. I mean, I can't say that. I said that last year and I said it the year before. I'm not going to get too overconfident with it
You're gonna
because
say it
I'm
every
still
year.
waiting. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
I'm confident in our team, but I'm not confident enough in Ryan Day.
Hmm.
I
And that's
mean,
really shocking. I've never heard Ohio State fans say that, but it
no.
also at the same time it makes sense. I mean, you
What I
just
would like to see is how
gotta,
he coached from the Georgia game
yeah,
into the game. I mean,
every game,
every
every
game.
game, you got to win all your games. Ohio State's usually winning games by 50 points. I got to get back to that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Even Penn State, like we beat
Yeah,
them in 2013, 63-14. Got to get back to that. I mean,
got.
that was prime Ohio State football back in 2014.
I think y'all are in a good spot though. You play a good game against
Yeah.
Michigan. Of course, you win out. You beat Wisconsin. You got to beat Michigan though. That's the big thing
Now,
because
I'll
they out
tell
of
you, we have a huge running back. We have an insane wide receiver room. I think our wide receiver, I think we're the wide receiver you. We have we
Yeah,
have always had the best wide receivers and a good amount of them, even dating back to 2014 with Devin Smith and Evan Spencer. I mean, it, it's insane how I mean Michael Thomas, Curtis Samuel,
yeah. Well,
Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, there's so many good wide receivers, and we don't just have a one. We don't just have a one. We have a one, two, three, four, five, which we
yeah.
get Jaden Ballard. We get Jaden Ballard this year. We still have Julian Fleming. We have Mecca Buka, and we have, I mean,
Marvin.
we have Marv. That's a huge room. We have great tight ends.
Yeah,
I'll
great offense. We got to see the defense.
The defense is what
Good new,
now
new
is making our
coordinator.
offense, our younger offense better. So
Yeah,
last year, our defense had implemented maybe around a quarter of our full playbook for defense. And I think our corners have gotten better. I believe our safeties have gotten better because they've had to play this new younger offense. They don't have a Heisman candidate quarterback to, play at, but they do have insane receivers who are making the corners better. And
yeah.
there's
I,
still a
I,
QB battle. There's still a
yeah,
QB battle between Kyle McCord and Devin Brown. And I'm actually going to go with what my dad said. Based on the scheme of Ohio State, if we have
yeah,
a run heavy defense, like a huge quarterback or a good quarterback room with Kyle McCord and Devin Brown and a great running back room, great wide receivers, we're going to see the quarterbacks run. And Devin
yeah.
Brown is the person who can do that the best.
Yeah, he
Um,
is.
if you're having a QB who's Kyle McCord, who's have had live snaps that is still in a quarterback battle a week away from college football with
Yeah,
a kid who's never played live snaps, I don't think he should be the quarterback.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I
He
know
doesn't
he
have a
has a
job.
connection. He has a connection with Marv, but other teams are going to pick off that connection. You can't just have it with one person.
Yeah,
They played high school football together, but I think Devin Brown wins the spot, or they play both both
yeah.
just back to
They
back.
probably will at first. They're gonna find their one before Notre Dame.
Oh yeah. Even if we play like couple snaps each way, like each first down, new quarterback, or each drive, new quarterback, we'll have fresh legs.
Yeah,
I
every
mean,
play.
it's if they can be the same person but with different skills, I think we could be very lethal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. But anyways, at number two we have Michigan. Very strong team. They've got Blake Corum and JJ McCarthy coming back.
the
Um,
Heisman right there, man. Kids,
yeah,
kid dog.
JJ McCarthy is good. I
Yeah.
will say that, but I don't think he's a leader, especially considering he wasn't picked as a captain of his own
Oh,
team.
I was I was picking Blake Corum to win that, not
Yeah.
not.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah, if you can't get you have to be a captain. I mean, that's a leader.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you gotta. Who knows? This might be Harbaugh's last season, huh?
I think with all the drama that's going on with breaking recruiting rules and all that,
Yeah,
they've self-imposed a 3-game suspension for Harbaugh. They were originally supposed to get 4. They took it back. I think what's going to happen is the NCAA takes it to next season. Nothing happens until that season and he retires.
yeah,
And at most, I think there were talks about them forfeiting wins from 2020 to 2023. But at most, I think if they do impose anything and Harbaugh decides to quit, I think they take back this season's wins, if anything.
yeah. I agree.
So I
That's
don't think anything too harsh will
yeah.
happen.
I think that's the best outcome for it. I
Yeah,
mean, you can't just slap on a three. They play nobody the first 3 games. Of
no.
course, that's not why they're doing it to make them have to feel bad, and
Yeah,
play somebody good without their head coach. You don't want to
right.
do that to them.
They're
But
self-imposing, so they get
yeah,
some type of punishment and try to relieve it. But yeah, pretty much. It's super sketchy. I
they
hate
should
it.
have done this last year. They
They
should have
should have
done it
done it
last year.
last year. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's been going on for 3 years.
it took them too long to figure it out, and now they're going to punish him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which, I mean,
how many
if you
more
have
coaches?
someone lying about it too,
Mm-hmm.
the coach about it's lying about it, you gotta spend time to figure out what's wrong, but you can't be spending so much time. He has the ability to retire or still
Yeah.
finish out his contract.
Hey, like he's got to do. He's got to beat Ohio State.
That's what
Keep
he's
his
got to
job
do.
at all.
That's what he's
Don't
got
even
to
have to
do.
win the Big Ten. Actually, he's
Nope.
got to win a playoff game to keep his job. I think because he
I
hasn't
think
won
so
a
too.
playoff game. Going 2 times, that's impressive. But come on now, Ohio State
Lane of,
is doing
I
it.
mean,
And,
watching Ohio State in the top 4 games, I mean, at least it's more impressive.
yeah,
I mean, at least it's better games, and we've won a natty in this era and
yeah.
even won a semifinal game. So,
They're just now getting a taste of playoff football. So
yeah, because I mean, in the last 8 years, even before that, they never tasted
yeah,
anything in the
exactly.
top 4. So, it's in the whole era of CFP, they haven't been to the top 4 since they beat Ohio State.
They remind me of Oklahoma. So Oklahoma
Yeah,
hasn't won a playoff game either.
right.
And dogs in there, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Let's get to our final team, the obvious. 2-time national champs, Georgia. They had 61st place votes. Um, I agree with being number one,
yeah.
even though I mean they have a good amount coming back, but they don't have what they had for the
Yeah, they
past
got
2 years. They've got Brock
that's
Bowers.
yeah. Brock Bowers is and Lad McConkey. He is
Yeah,
good too. I don't
he's
know if
really I Ladd McConkey.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But new quarterback. I fully believe in if you're number one, you shouldn't be dethroned until you lose game.
yeah,
Even even if you lose SEC championship at the end of the year, you should not move from one at all in the top 4, even if it's a close game. Even if you won by one to Utah State. I think you should stay number one until you lose. Or a
have an
number two
easy.
team until a number 2 team beats that team they played by more.
Yeah, I mean they
It's
play nobody.
something reasonable.
I wish Georgia. They're gonna say they had Oklahoma. A non-conference game, but it's Oklahoma who went. Who barely won some football games last year.
Yeah,
And
that's why they're overrated. You see, every team that has played an SEC team gets, or a strong SEC team like Alabama or Georgia,
yeah,
are getting ranked higher because they have more of a chance to win the first couple games and then play them. And then
Yeah.
it kind of like boosts it. I don't understand it. I don't want to say SEC is biased, but I mean,
They-
it is.
most of the time, I mean, that's what it feels like. It doesn't feel
Yeah,
like that for the Big Ten. It doesn't feel like that for ACC. It doesn't feel like that
no.
for any other conference. So, but it does for them, and that's because they have a two-time national champion.
Hmm.
They
They've
Bama's
got a
one
constant
player.
team in the top four.
Yeah, well, that's their doings. The ESPN owns the SEC, so
Yeah. But dude, that's the top 25. That
yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
it's a pretty good preseason top 25. I think by week, you know, week whatever, it'll be refined, but
Yeah, maybe
it's
even
not
after
going to look
week.
that way till CFP comes out
Yeah, that's facts.
in the last year of CFP. Um, I think we should do something with our listeners. I'm going to talk about this with you off camera. Be sure to be tuned into our next episodes. We'll talk about upcoming stuff. We have a few guests that we'd like to have on that we could possibly turn into co-hosts. Um, so be sure to be watching us on YouTube, listening to us on Spotify or any other service we have or are on. Apple Podcasts will be up soon. And yeah, just thank you guys for watching, and we're glad you enjoyed this first episode of this season. I know we're both very excited to get back into this.
College football is back, baby. I've been waiting so
Yes,
long.
love
Let's
it.
go.
Yeah. So we'll be posting more updates on Instagram as well as College FP Weekly there, I believe as well. If not, it's not hard to find. It's our logo. Pretty
Yep.
simple. Updates, posts, whatever. Um, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Anything you want to say?
Just like to say, I am so excited for this year, and it's going to be a lot of big things coming. You guys just wait. It's going to be a bunch of. Let me not sneak peek it. We're going to tell
Yeah.
you next
We've got
episode.
a
Just
lot
tune
of
in.
ideas. A
Right.
lot of ideas.
We're going to be more consistent. We were pretty consistent, but last year we were just figuring things out, and this year, we could do this thing, and we appreciate
Exactly.
everybody watching and listening, and yeah, go
All
Tigers,
right.
and it's good to be back. Let's go.
We'll see you guys next episode. Peace.